Hi, this is Rainbow Harmony, here to help you find balance and peace to live a more colorful life. And this is a pick a card reading for crisis. What the F do I do? So if you've had a crisis in your life or you're working through a crisis, then this reading is for you. And what I want you to do is pick a number. Number 1 or number 2. If you're number 1, then stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and draw some cards for your message. If you're number 2, then fast forward, because I'm going to be able to give you a separate reading. I want this reading to just really help lift you up, help you find your balance and peace, and of course I'd like for it to be accurate, so choose number 1 or number 2 for more accuracy. So number 1, oh, and by the way, this is the leaving difficult times behind card. It's one of them. There's a couple of them in the deck, but this one's saying that you've got your footing and now you can look ahead to the future. So maybe this crisis isn't as bad as you guys thought. But let's go ahead and draw some cards. So first of all, if you chose number 1, what is the crisis? The crisis is boredom and insecurity and lack of inspiration, lack of motivation, maybe even exhaustion, maybe even some type of health issue. So that's your crisis, and I see why that's a crisis, because there's so much information, there's so much creative inspiration all around you that you could just pick up and drink from at any time, but for some reason you're not able to move forward. So let's go ahead and see now what the lesson is. What is the lesson here for you in this crisis? So here's where you're at. You're going around and around in circles and you're not quite sure how you're going to make it through this door. They're saying that sometimes it's just a matter of the changing of the seasons. Sometimes it's not quite yet the season for you to be past this crisis or for you to be through to the other side. You have to realize in your life there is a rhyme or a reason to everything. And so you're learning how to go with the flow through this. And they're saying during the winter, you can't force this tree to blossom and bloom like it does in the spring. Also, it's kind of a hint, after winter comes spring. So rest assured, change is coming and the wheel of the year will turn. I'm seeing that you're frustrated, and so you're learning how to pull up your energy and your vitality and your passion no matter how frustrated you are. And this is something I've had to learn. You know, there's been times I booked a job and I was feeling great about it, and then it came to the week of the job, and for some reason my energy just wasn't there, and I had to flow through it anyways. I had to find a way to pull up my passion, to pull up my inspiration, because I'm an artist and my clients are you know, they're paying for me to be creative and inspiring, and so I have to do everything I can to take very good care of myself to be ready for this. And I think that's what's coming out for you. You're very confused right now about how to move forward, but they're saying if you don't know how to move forward right now, if you don't know where to start, then start with your self-care. Take good care of yourself, establish ease for yourself until you feel like you're in the space where you can move forward. Maybe this death, maybe since it's death and winter for you right now, maybe you should take the path of least resistance. Just allow yourself, like, schedule a vacation, you know, go into it, go into the boredom. If you're, you know, allow yourself to be there a little longer and just release all your resistance, and it will pass, you know, and spring will come again, and you'll feel much better. So now we're going to ask what the blessing is. So what is the blessing for you in all of this? You're learning how to be responsible, how to handle the burden sometimes that is our own struggles we place upon ourselves. They're saying you need to take good care of yourself so that you can be in the flow, so that you don't feel like you need to procrastinate, so that you don't break down so much. So your health and your well-being has a lot to do with this. I'm seeing a lot about drinking water and just making sure you're eating enough and just some of those basic things that we forget to do. But they're telling you it's time for a rebirth here in your life. Things are changing, things are moving forward, and that's what the blessing is. And there's also a huge opportunity for you on the other side of this, which is usually the case. I stopped freaking out at Mercury retrograde and at the crises in my life because I'm like, this is going to be balanced out by a huge blessing. I know that. You're having a huge crisis. Just know it'll be balanced by a blessing. I love that. Your crisis will be balanced by a blessing. So now let's ask how you can best flow through this crisis and what's on the other side. Aww. So they want you to face your fears. They're saying that the rabbit is a sign of being able to face your fears. And I see that there is a lot of prosperity for you here coming through this path. They want you to take things slow and realize that right now you're supposed to be healing. There's not really a lot that's required of you. They're saying focus on your healing and you'll know when it's time to move forward to face your fears. So kind of like what I was saying with some of the other cards, like take the path of least resistance. And of course, this is going to be balanced by a blessing for sure, because I'm asked what's on the other side of this crisis for you, and I'm seeing happiness. And I'm seeing the completion of a project. So you actually being able to walk away from that boredom and that indecision and that time of just not being able to do anything, and actually being able to complete this huge project. You're gonna have to be very patient. It's gonna take a lot more time than you think is what they're saying, but you have to allow this. I'm still going through a healing process right now. I think I've been on this path for like 2 years now, and it just takes time. Maybe my entire life I'm going to be healing from some of these things that happen. Who knows? I hope not, but maybe that's what life is all about. Maybe you have to learn how to just kind of ebb and flow as you go through, and if you've had this crisis, just take very good care of yourself is what they're saying. So I hope this message resonated with you. I'm sending you so much love and light. Peace out. So if you chose number 2, I'm going to draw a card for you for what your crisis is. What your crisis is. What is the crisis? I don't know why I'm like being so happy right now. I'm like, what is your crisis? I'm sorry you've had a crisis, by the way. Doesn't look so bad. As soon as I flipped this over, I was like, I know this crisis is a blessing in disguise for you. They're saying don't judge this situation quite yet. I had this car accident that, long story, ended up leading me to my new house. And it was the craziest thing that ever happened, and it was awful, and it was the hugest crisis ever, but ultimately I ended up on the other side with a beautiful new house. And so that's what I'm seeing here for you. This crisis is going to end with some type of situation where it flips around. And I'm seeing these waters here are smoother. They're saying the wheel of the year is turning. Change is at hand. You're heading to smoother waters, which is beautiful. I also see that there's a crisis with like allowing yourself to be supported by the universe. Like you feel very alone and stuck, and you forget how much the universe loves you. You forget that every little tiny animal and every little plant is taken care of. There's a rhyme and a reason for everything. It's an organized chaos here on this planet, and this contrast is going to be balanced out by something beautiful for you. So bless the contrast, welcome it. It's part of your path, it's part of your journey, it's here for a reason. So let's see what the lesson is for you in this crisis. Is there a lesson here you can learn? That's always nice. It's not like the universe is doing this to smite you, but there are lessons we learn along the path. They're saying something about a broken heart being inspiration. Something about how a broken heart can be inspiration, and this is so true. My partner is a musician, and we've been together for many years, and so there came a point where he didn't really have anything like emo to write about, or anything like, he didn't really have any heartbreaks to write about, because I wasn't breaking his heart. And so he kind of got to this point in his music where he had to transcend that, because he was like, wow, I don't really have anything like that to write about anymore, and like, which is positive but also kind of hard for my music. So just know that if something awful happens, it can be very good for your artwork. It's awful, it happens, but sometimes, someone gets in a breakup, like Taylor Swift gets in a breakup, and it's like coolest album ever. Just kidding, you guys. I'm not really a Taylor Swift fan, but that was like the first name that came to me. Probably because they just like market her stuff everywhere. But anyways, shout out to Taylor Swift fans. I'm not dissing on you. So this crisis is a blessing. We know that. They're saying that you need to pull up your passion and your energy and get ready to make some changes. I see you really confused right now, but I think that the lesson is that even in the midst of confusion, you can make change. And when you're confused, it's the best time to practice listening to your intuition, because all the answers are truly inside of you. So they're saying try meditation, try getting back in touch with yourself. So let's see what the blessing is for you. What is the blessing? Ooh, you got the transition card again. So the blessing is your transition. For sure, you're leaving this difficult time behind. This is the new path card. So you're going to be going on a new path, and that's a blessing, because maybe the path you're on isn't really one you want to be on anymore. You're learning how to have fortitude, perseverance, and inner strength, which you're going to need on your journey. You're learning these valuable lessons right now. These clouds of confusion around you are going to lessen. Next, we're going to see how you can best flow through this crisis. So how can you best flow through this crisis? They're saying open up to the crisis. Seems to be a common message for both groups, is welcome it. Welcome this crisis. It is divine intervention. Yes, this branch snapped, and yes, she's falling, but look, right at the last minute, she's being saved. And that's what I'm seeing. Like, you're being saved, you just don't know it. And you got another new path card. I only have 2 new path cards in this whole deck. This one is talking about this new path being like a spiritual path. It being one that changes your life. It's like the path to your destiny. So this is actually this crisis might seem just like the littlest thing, or it might seem like the biggest thing. Whatever it is, though, it's actually a pretty big part of your life. And they're saying you need to pull yourself out of these emotional waters and surrender your will. Allow this to happen, because there truly is a blessing here for you. And that's how they want you to flow through it. So let's ask, what's on the other side of this crisis? Because there's so many messages about you taking a new path, messages about you just letting go, opening up. They're telling me to draw 5 cards. Interesting. So they're saying on the other side of this, you get to rest, which you're probably hoping for at this point. You got the new path card again. So they're just like, new path, new path, new path. Something new is coming. Maybe that's what you need to hear, is that like something new is coming. And they're saying you're facing your shadow. You're facing your fears. Like life, it's kind of like the story of Job in the Bible, where like life takes everything from Job, and Job has to learn how to just like embrace life anyways. And so that's what you're learning how to do, is like, even when everything's been taken from you, even when this is all falling apart, you have to learn to just laugh and embrace life anyways, So yes, you're going to be down for a while. Maybe this is even a depression, because this is a card I get for people who've been depressed. But this is for a reason, and I've been through depression on my path and related to my past. And I don't know, I am actually really thankful that I got to go through that now, and that I got to cry, and that I got to mourn, and that I had the time to like be like that. Now I can be happy, and I can be me, and I can enjoy myself. But I don't think I would have been able to do that if I hadn't just like let myself really just get upset and get it all out. So I feel like that's what you're doing. Like, you have a lot of emotions pent up in you, and like it's all coming out, and like it's led to this crisis. It's manifested in your life. And it's causing you to make changes. It's helping you flesh out these old wounds. And ultimately, what's on the other side is connection with other people, which is what you want, your soul family, maybe a soulmate, and some things you've been trying to manifest. So the universe is like, there's some good stuff here for you on the other side of this crisis, and they want you to keep going. So I hope that this message resonated with you. I'm sending you so much love and light. Peace out.